Good evening, folks. It's me, Captain Logan, and joining me tonight is my son, Freddy. What's up, Freddy?
Dino Thunder is pretty good.
Tonight, we're going to watch some Dino Thunder, and Freddy is all ready to talk about his opinions about this show. We're going to do a little mini marathon for you. This is the Jason David Frank celebration stream. DJ and I did a tribute video the day that we found out that Jason David Frank had passed away, and we were talking about doing a Dino Thunder marathon that day. We were like, maybe in a week or two we'll try to do that. DJ was supposed to be here tonight. He's been under the weather. He said he didn't think his voice would hold out for this, so he told me to go ahead without him, and I was already talking about having Freddy on this stream because Freddy loves Power Rangers. Freddy actually happened to be wearing a Power Rangers shirt already today. He didn't stand up for a second. Let everybody see your Power Ranger shirt. He's got a 2017 Power Ranger shirt. He didn't even put that on for the show. He just happened to be wearing that. That's how big of Power Ranger fans we are in this family.
When I put this on, I didn't even know we were doing this commentary.
Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be a fun Power Rangers evening for me and Freddy. He's been wanting to hang out with Dad and do a little sleepover in the bunker, so we thought we would do that tonight. So we're going to watch some Power Rangers with you, and then Freddy and I are going to go on and stay up a little bit late and probably do some other Power Rangers thing. What do you think, Freddy? Does that sound like fun? So anyway, Freddy, can you tell everybody which episodes we're watching tonight? Do you remember?
We're watching episode 5, Back in Black, and the 3-parter of the White Ranger era.
Of the evil White Ranger saga, which is called, White Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, White Thunder, which might sort of be a callback to White Light, or maybe not. Maybe it's just because the word thunder is in the title of the show. It's Dino Thunder. Can you morph? Can you do a Dino Thunder morph? I'm putting you on the spot. Can you do it? Ready? Ready? Go.
I don't know.
Dino Thunder. Power
Dino
up.
Thunder, power up, ha!
You're not going to do the hands and stuff? Okay, well, anyway. Welcome, everybody. Okay. They do this at the end. I know that. We'll see them do it a bunch of times, I'm sure. So, anyway. I wanted to do Back in Black because it's, of course, a big Tommy episode. And, spoiler alert, he becomes a ranger there. That was a big deal for fans of the show, not knowing whether or not he would end up actually suiting up and morphing and becoming a ranger in this. He's kind of the Zordon of the show. And also, the special extra ranger initially. The show in some ways has a couple of 6 rangers, even though they're not actually 6 rangers, because it starts with a 3-man team, which I love because it gives you a chance to really get to know these characters, and the writing is so good in this show compared to, especially earlier Power Ranger shows, that we get a lot of really good character dimension and really flesh these guys out and make them as 3-dimensional as we ever had for Power Rangers. As much or more in some shows later on. I'm not lifting this up on a pedestal to the point of saying that we never do any better than this show, but it is, in a lot of ways, still my favorite, and I'm very excited to chat about it with you guys, and we'll talk some Jason David Frank a little bit, especially if you guys bring up some things in the comments, but we'll also talk quite a bit about this show, and just respond to stuff as we're watching. So pull up the 5th episode of the show, if you would, and it's on YouTube right now, so I know that it was taken off Netflix a long time ago. That made it difficult for us to do Power Rangers commentaries. Now a lot of shows, all of them, all of the episodes for a number of shows, I should say, are on the official Power Rangers channel. So just seek out Power Rangers and you'll see the official channel. They have playlists for all the shows. I'm not linking that in the description because other channels have been complaining lately that they're not being allowed to put links in descriptions. So I've not done that, but if you have any trouble finding it, let me know. And I don't have a timer on the screen right now, which I probably should do for you guys to make this easier. So give me just a second, if you would. Sometimes I forget to do that, Freddy. So I got to take care of that for everybody. Freddy's excited to watch a little Dino Thunder.
Because I love Power Rangers. My favorite Power Rangers show is Super Mega Force.
Is it? Well, we won't hold that against you.
Yeah.
Your favorite is Super Mega Force right now?
But Jason hates it.
Well, I don't like it either. I think that's one of the worst casts but the Legacy morphs in the second season in Super Mega Force are a lot of fun, and I thought it was worth watching that season just to see what would happen with those. Although I guess you could also watch the Sentai and get the same thing, but...
Well, that's big.
There's the timer. So now everybody will be able to tell where we are. We're watching 4 episodes tonight, like Freddy alluded to earlier, and the Evil White Ranger arc is actually not going to be complete when we finish. It will end on a cliffhanger. It's kind of weird, Freddy, that those 3 episodes have the same episode title, that it's not like Green with Evil, which was a 5-parter, and they were all called Green with Evil Part whatever. White Thunder, 3-parter, and then kind of ends arbitrarily with, we'll see this of course, but with Tommy being encased in a Power Rangers equivalent of carbonite or something, and then it's only...
Fossilized.
That's what it is, and it's only right after that that the rest of the Rangers discover who the White Ranger is, and he has to deal with his... sense of loyalty to his father versus his friends and all that. We're not going to be able to talk about a lot of that stuff tonight, but we might come back and do a part 2 of this eventually and watch the rest of that saga, because if memory serves, it lasts a good long time, and it's kind of longer than just the 5 parts of Green with Evil. So we decided instead of just covering that, we would start with a bigger Tommy thing and then get into the more juicy stuff with the Evil White Ranger arc. So anyway, welcome folks. Thanks a lot for watching live. If you're here, we sure appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Derpy wants to know, Freddy, if you've watched Time Force or Lightspeed Rescue.
I've watched all of Lightspeed Rescue, and I've watched a couple episodes of Time Force.
We were doing a watch through of that and got through 7 or 8 episodes, I think. At least me and Jason. I don't know how much of that you were watching with us, and we kind of fell off that. We got to get back.
Go Power Rangers.
Yeah. Hi, Cyril. Good to see you. Okay, everybody. We're going to just go ahead and jump right into this. Freddy actually prepared for this show. He watched all of these earlier today. So, are you ready? Do you have some stuff to say?
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out what Freddy has to say about this. Here we go. Get it, timestamp 0. Get ready to press play when I say now, and I'm just about to do that. Here we go. Everybody, please press play. It's Back in Black. Everybody, please press play right now.
Roar.
This is one of my favorite intros. Just jumps at you right out the gate. Freddy, this show was such a big deal to me when it came out. I had not been paying attention to Power Rangers for years. Of course, I was in college. I was an adult at that point. This comes out the second year I'm dating your mom. And, of course, Jason David Frank coming back to the franchise was a big deal. And I went ahead and watched the pilot because I was curious about that. I saw a preview for the show with his kind of revealing it, making a big deal out of, okay, I'm doing something for Power Rangers. You don't know what it is yet. It's a new show, and I'm going to be kind of the Zordon for it. And I kept going because I loved the aesthetic, I loved going back to dinosaurs, but I loved these characters, and I thought the writing was surprisingly sophisticated for Power Rangers, and that this threesome with Connor and Ethan and Kira had wonderful dynamics, some of the best acting I had seen in Power Rangers, and it just didn't feel like it was aimed at as young of an audience. So that's the episode, Freddy, where they just basically watch a bunch of Power Ranger episodes and going all the way up, trying to canonicize all of this, which is a tall order and was kind of silly. It didn't exactly work, but there it was. Thomas Lowe says hello to Freddy.
Hi.
Yep, opening song is great. Freddy, how do you feel about the Megazord in this show?
It's good.
Do you like it?
I like the double drill attack in that formation.
Oh, a little bit later when you get the
Aclozord.
Yeah. What is that? That's not what it's called. What is it? But yeah, it's that smaller one. That's what it is. The Ankylosaurus. So it's an early episode, which means we've got to introduce our motorcycles. And in most Power Ranger shows, you introduce the cycles and then you hardly ever use them again. But I believe we're actually going to see them come back in the episodes we're watching today in White Thunder, which is kind of unusual, even that late in the season. It's only episode 11 or 12, but very often we just kind of forget about the cycles. And we are going to get to see the inception, Freddy, of Super Dino mode.
Yeah.
One of the goofiest Ranger modes ever. Because it's just spikes that are made of foam and bounce around a lot. It's great. There's a lot of really great banter in the show. And like I said, it feels like it's almost on the level of a like CW superhero show or something. It gets close to that. And I, lampoon that stuff all the time. Arrow, Flash, Legends, especially those kinds of shows. But to get to anything that is meant more for adults than Power Rangers is kind of impressive. This feels almost like a real honest-to-God TV show. And there's Jason David Frank from a previous episode. He's been captured by Mesogog, who he, of course, does not know is his former partner, Anton Mercer.
Senior Six says, go Tommy Rangers.
Yes, because it was all about Tommy for a long time, to the point where one of the first Ranger packs that came out for the board game, Here's the Grid, which Freddy and I are big into and play together a lot, was the Tommy Oliver pack. There are enough Tommy Rangers, they were able to make a pack of 5 of them that includes Freddy's favorite monster in the game, Evil Robot Tommy.
Yeah. He's easy, and I like to annoy Dad.
Senior Sticks, Cap, which is your favorite Tommy Ranger? I have a tough time with that at this point. When I was a kid, it was White Ranger over Green Ranger, and I still have a massive soft spot for White Ranger. In a lot of ways, it's my favorite outfit next to Gold Ranger, just overall. But it's almost a tie at this point with Brachio from this show. I love the look of Black Ranger, and I'd love it even if Tommy wasn't in that suit, but that does help put it over the top a little bit. His morphing, like I said earlier, is a 30-something-year-old guy was such a big deal, and just the way he owns it in the scene is so good. One of the reasons I wanted to watch this tonight is it's the image that comes up whenever you Google, Tommy Dino Thunder or Black Ranger in Dino Thunder. Just his with having the morpher for the first time. It's a really memorable scene. And some of my favorite moments and one-liners are in this episode, particularly when we get to the end and Tommy says that he has to go shopping because he has a significant lack of black in his wardrobe. I just love how self-aware the show is about that stuff. And another reason that I love the show, and I have kind of a unexplainable love for this character, is my favorite henchman of all time, Freddy, Zeltrax.
Yeah.
I have an irrational love for Zeltrax, to the point where my wife and I seriously considered giving one of our kids the middle name Zeltrax. Not kidding, we kicked it around.
Really?
Yes, we did. We were talking about...
not to.
We decided not to. We were talking about naming Mikey, or maybe the one after Mikey, Robert Zeltrax. We're driving in the water.
Yeah, I love the Dino Bikes.
Another really great thing about this show is that we shoot a lot of really good action in this. Not all of the best stuff, the best stunt work in this, the really ambitious stuff that you see is just Sentai footage, and I think the show does a good job of masking it. There are places where, of course, like every show, where it's really obvious what's Sentai and what isn't, but some of the best stunt work is us. When you see Elsa in a shot, that's us. That's our character. And all this crazy flipping and jumping around in the water and flipping off of cycles and stuff. Again, really ambitious. This era also loved these slow motion shots with firing lasers in the air. Hayden Spring, I just call him Smitty after that reveal. I hate the Smitty reveal. It makes me sad. I love Zeltrax, but that was enough to make me actually stop watching the show for a bit. When it was on, I was so upset that I thought they killed him because I was naive enough to think that we actually killed a character in a Power Rangers show. I can't believe I did that, but also it was because the Smitty thing was really silly, and I didn't love that. Originally, and by the way, I don't know how much of this I've talked about before, because I don't think we've done a ton of Dino Thunder content on the channel, and of course DJ and I have not done commentaries on these yet, but I feel like I've talked about some of this before, because I'm having kind of deja vu with some of what I'm mentioning, so my apologies if I'm repeating myself from earlier shows, but there were a number of characters from other shows that Jason David Frank was in that were supposed to come into the show that unfortunately never happened. Look at that epic shot! Look at that!
Yeah, Zeltrax is my favorite character in Dino Thunder.
Zeltrax. You gonna give me five? You gonna leave me hanging?
I didn't see the high
five. But yeah, we were supposed to get alum in this show, and it never happened with anybody, which is really sad. But if memory serves, we were supposed to get the reveal here that Tommy and Kat used to be married, or was she supposed to be in the show and they would be married? I forget. It's one of those. And then they were gonna make Billy from the original series a tragic character who became Zeltrax. And it would turn out that Zeltrax the whole time was actually Billy Cranston. And it's unfortunate that didn't happen. And there were some missteps and kind of, you know, unfortunate compromises like that with the show. But it was still great, regardless. They were able to, I mean, this is a testament to the production value, the writing, and just how much fun this show was. How good the villain is, the villain plot, the fact that he actually has, you know, a real honest-to-God motivation, you know what it is he wants, and all of that. It was... even because of all of that, I could even get past, we come up with a contrivance to write Jason David Frank out of a lot of the show. Even that didn't kill it. Losing Zeltrax did. I had to come back and rewatch the rest of the show the year after it aired because of that. Senior Sticks Cat still exists. Yes, I mean, years and years later, just a few years ago, they finally bring her back and sort of halfway give you that, but they still don't come right out and tell you that they're married. Hayden Spring, I consider the Disney era to be the golden age, with a couple exceptions like Overdrive. Yes, me as well, and isn't it weird that the shows didn't perform as well for audiences as the Neo Saban era, which has overall, I think, been kind of dreadful, with the exception of Beast Morphers. Although I haven't watched that second season, but I like that cast, at the very least. And spoilers for that, but they do a big connection with RPM in the second season, I've heard, which is really neat. Mesogog is probably my second favorite Power Rangers villain, next to Zed. The performance is awesome. He's super creepy for this show. I love it every time he goes, ah! Love it. And
I love snakes.
And I don't know if the head is at all animatronic or if it's just a facial performance, but it looks really good. But it's also campy in the right way. Like, you can see a little bit of the actor's skin underneath the mask. Who cares? It's great. Senior Sticks is Billy Cannon Cap. I mean, not his being Zeltrax. His existing in the show is, yes. I mean, all of Mighty Morphin is canonical with this. And there's nothing really retconned, except for, depending on how you look at it, maybe the exception of the idea that Tommy has I don't know if I want to say intellect, but, like, you know, wherewithal to become a scientist and get a doctorate. I just never really bought that with that character, but that's what we did with him. Hayden Spring, Mesogog is my favorite main villain, but I do love Grum. Yeah, what little I've seen of him is cool, too. Freddy, I'm sorry, you haven't said a lot yet, man.
Yeah.
Jump in. You gotta get a little bit closer to the mic here.
Okay.
Freddy has not done a lot of these commentaries, so bear with him.
of Power Rangers.
Let's run through Freddy's favorite things here for a second. So, Freddy, what is your all-time favorite series?
In Power Rangers?
Uh-huh.
Did I tell you earlier, Super Mega Force?
Oh, you did say that.
Of the commentary?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess you did say that. That's your favorite?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then Thomas Lowe wants to know who your favorite Ranger is.
My favorite Ranger
I'm sorry, I guess we didn't do that.
of all time.
Yes. Okay, sorry. We got to talk about the scene.
That will have to be Orion from Super Mega Force.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess he's okay as far as that show goes. I much prefer Zipperface Elsa to not Zipperface Elsa, and we got her in the board game, and she doesn't have the zipper. And when I finally paint her, I'm painting it on. So this is one of the best scenes in the show, and maybe in Power Rangers. I love it so much. So Tommy gets his Dino Gem, and they think that he's been incinerated, but it makes him invisible because that's his out-of-morph power. It's a lot of fun that the Dino Thunder Rangers all have different powers when they're out-of-morph. Some people like that, some people don't, but we actually do stuff with it in the show, so I like that. They go real well with Dino Morphers. He's got some real fun one-liners in this. I just love the way he sells it. Frank just owns this whole thing. It's not too silly. He doesn't care about looking goofy. I'm 30 years old. I'm gonna morph. I'm gonna be a Power Ranger. It's gonna be awesome, and it is. And it's because of how he acts it, and it's because the suit is freaking great. I may be old, but I can still pull it off. And keep in mind, this is before we had a lot of reunion episodes where we brought back actors in their 30s and 40s who had been Power Rangers and morphed again. We had not done a lot of that yet. Some in their 20s, certainly. You know, Adam comes back in space, but it had only been a couple of years since he'd been a Ranger. It happens. You get Forever Red, which is... That's after this, though, right? Wild Force? Yes. Wild Force is after this, yeah? So it does start happening, but this is a big deal, especially because you know that he's going to keep morphing, and you'll see this fight 100,000 times in the show. Tommy versus Ultrax. This is what we do. Tommy goes off on his own, because he's Tommy, so that's consistent. White Ranger, Green Ranger, they gotta run off and go do their own thing. And he's just gonna keep fighting Ultrax over and over again. Kind of like Jason was always fighting Goldar in Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
Hayden Spring, I love the key. And the weapon is one of my favorites ever. Yes, I forgot about that it was a key morph. That is really fun. And I have that morpher, but I don't have the key for it. I bought it at Power Morphicon when I went in 2016. I cosplayed as Out of Morph Tommy and grew a soul patch for it. And then kept shaving that way because I liked the look. I was surprised that I did. I thought it'd be silly. And then I kept doing it. And so I bought that when I was at that con. Grim Death Griffin, I enjoyed the Operation Overdrive crossover having Adam come back. I have not seen that, and I need to, but I haven't seen any Overdrive. Some of the music in this show is kind of recycled from... Well, I was going to say recycled from the previous show, or maybe I'm thinking it comes back a lot in SPD. One or the other. I Will One, is there still... I Will One. That's an interesting name, because it reminds me of Ron Wasserman's I Will Win. And I'm sure that's not what you're going for, but now I'm in a Power Rangers headspace. Is there still no lore behind the Master Morpher? Not that I'm aware of. It seems like it just comes out of nowhere. This seems like a real classic Power Rangers monster. And there's some real goofy ones in this show, in the Sentai, because this was famously a jokier season that they had to adapt into a more kind of epic one, arguably, for our side. Although, still has plenty of comedy and stuff, just not as much with the costumes. With Devin and Cassidy, they've got their own Bulk and Skull. Freddy, I still have my old Zeltrax figure somewhere. I'll have to pull him out at some point.
Wait, you have a Zeltrax figure?
I do. I bought it when the show came out.
Huh.
My sister and I watched the show together, and I bought her a Dino Thunder Black on his motorcycle. And I wonder if she still has that. I wish I'd bought myself one.
I never
But I
thought
did get Zeltrax.
rain could make monsters grow.
I think it's like acid rain. I forget what they say that is. Don't they call it like something recombinator? I forget. And there's the Brachiozord. That is a Carrier Zord, which is pretty appropriate for Tommy's role in this. They got really lucky, I think, with what Sentai footage they had to work with, that it all fit so well with the premise and motifs that they came up with for the show.
How would they do the Brachiozord? Like, it seems complex.
Senior 6, the lore is Tommy exists, and let's give him a Master Morpher. Yes, that's true. Hayden Spring mentions that maybe it comes up in Soul of the Dragon. I've read that once. I don't remember if it's there. I really don't remember very much at all about Soul of the Dragon.
Megazord.
I'm sure... I'm sure, by the way, that Boom will do some kind of tribute to Jason David Frank. I'm curious to see how they handle that and what comes out from them. Going back to this show has been kind of therapeutic for me. I took Jason David Frank's death kind of weirdly hard. It was very difficult for me to get my mind around, especially the way it happened, and we won't talk about that too much, of course, especially since, you know, we have children present, but it just hurt my feelings. It just hit me in a weird place, and it was difficult to process. And for a minute, I wasn't sure how easy it would be even to go back and look at the stuff. And it's been the opposite. It has really helped a lot. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not special. I'm the only person that feels that way, but it would be disingenuous not to bring that up. I had feelings about it.
I'm excited for our sleepover. Oh, just punch in.
Yep, we're having a good time, man. Okay, so I'll go on record and say I don't care for this Megazord. The look of it's okay. I don't like the CG stuff in this. I wish they'd keep it all in costume because it looks better.
I like it punching the camera.
No, that's hilarious. And I mean, it's like a kangaroo-looking Zord, which is funny because it's dinosaur themed. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So now he's got to explain everything to make it make sense that he already had everything ready to become a Ranger. Like I said, I think this is his best acting in Power Rangers. He just the show in general. He's more convincing. I think he really shines because he's the mentor, and like he was always up front in Power Rangers. He was very often anyway, kind of, you know, the main guy and the reason a lot of people were watching the show. Kind of fell more into the background with Zeo, but that all seems to just getting to be the mentor character, being in charge in the Zordon way and the main Ranger way, but then also sending off his team to go do their own thing. It just sat well with him, it seems like. And I wish he hadn't been written out for, you know, a third or more of the show, but...
Saban. I love Saban.
It's Saban.
Saban?
Yes. Haim Saban created Power Rangers. Freddy likes Saban. Okay, Freddy, we're going to watch some more of Saban's Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Although, at this point, this is one of the Disney seasons. Okay, so...
We need to stop that clock.
Yes, I have stopped the clock. I'm thinking about this for a minute. Like, it wouldn't have said Saban back then, right? Have they changed it now that they got it back again? And I realize that Hasbro owns it now, but Hasbro bought Saban, right? Isn't that what happened? Where like Saban is still technically Saban's Power Rangers, but which is different from when Disney had it, where Disney got it from Saban. But yes, real quick before we get to the next one, pull up the 11th episode now, guys. We're going to watch all 3 parts of White Thunder, which again is starting a saga that is not really completed after this, but which is all on these 3 parts anyway under the same heading, and that's all we're going to watch tonight. So again, we might do another part of this eventually and knock out some more of the Evil White Ranger saga. But real quick, I just wanted to mention my thing with the Megazord. I don't like that it's as much of a power tool Megazord as it is a dinosaur Megazord, Freddy. It looks like the Home Depot Megazord.
Yeah.
It's got like a buzzsaw and a drill.
Hidden Spring says, can we watch the weird Sentai one?
Not this time. I know what you're talking about. That episode's hilarious. Do you know about that? There's an episode where they watch what is supposed to be a like Japanese show that is ripping their exploits off instead of the other way around, and it's clever. It's a funny idea.
Wait, is Mighty Morphin made in Japanese? In Japan?
Oh, I'm going to have to explain how this works to Freddy. No, we make Power Rangers in America, but we take footage from a Japanese show called Super Sentai, and we build our own story around it with our own actors.
Cool.
And so some of the action that you see is from the Japanese show, and some of it is ours, and in certain iterations, more of it is ours than in others. So the first season of Mighty Morphin, most of the action you see is Japanese in costume, except for when, like, our actors out of costume are fighting putties, which is why we mostly cast martial artists, like Austin St. John and Jason David Frank, because they knew martial arts and they could make it look credible. They could do their own stunts.
Wait, is Go Ranger the Japan show you're talking about? Because I know
Go Ranger is one of them, yes.
I know that comic.
Yes.
Some of it.
Mm-hmm. And then the original is, because Jason has that. The original show that Mighty Morphin was based on is not the first Sentai. There were Sentais before that, going all the way back to the late 70s. But one of them, I think, but the show that Mighty Morphin is based on was Zoo Ranger. And we can watch that at some point if you want to. Because it is streamable and it is interesting.
Cool.
Okay, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we're going to get into some Trent action here, and everybody get to timestamp 0 and get ready to press play when I say now. I'm just about to do it. Here we go, folks. Everybody, please press play right
now.
No. Hold on. I'll let you say it. But people were not ready for you to say it, so they wouldn't necessarily press play, you see. So if you pressed play, back up, and I'm going to let Freddy say it. Here we go. Everybody, please press play right
now.
Hayden Spring, as a kid, I saw videos on YouTube of Deca Ranger, which is the SPD Sentai. And I remember being absolutely confused. I bet so. I really want to do some Sentai content at some point. I don't know that there would be any interest in that on the channel at all. And there's lots of YouTube channels that have gone through Sentais and explained differences and done overviews and things. So I don't know if I would do commentaries or if I would just try to do something like a Superhero Rewind, like season overview thing for a Sentai. But I think it would be fun to do that. And the first one...
Protectors of the Rice.
Protectors of the Rice?
Yeah, I made that joke up a few months ago.
The one that I would be most interested in, I think, is, right now anyway, is the one that Space is based on. The Brachiozord in the board game has a great power going along with what it does in the show here. Freddy, do you remember what it does?
Yeah, you pick a random Zord from the Zord pile, and you use it instead of the Brachio.
For a whole turn.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
We're always talking about Heroes of the Grid. It's one of our favorite things. I'm getting to a point where the shows feel like almost an extension of that game instead of vice versa now. Where like that's the stories that inform this game that I'm playing. So Trent has not learned yet that his father is Mesogog. We're getting close to that. We won't get to it in the stream today, but that's going to be a couple episodes after the end of this arc. And Trent right now is dealing with his father not wanting him to pursue his own ambitions and career path. He wants to be an artist, and he's sneaking off to draw his, I think, very mediocre drawings that we're told are wonderful. They're fine.
I love Trent because he's an evil White Ranger and I like evil stuff.
There's a line in this episode, I think, where Kira or somebody says, since when do you have evil Rangers? And I'm like, going all the way back. You don't even realize that your mentor is the original of those. Also, we talked over this, but in the previously on from the last episode, they showed that scene where Connor says he's the oldest living Power Ranger, and I'm like, how much older is he than any of the other original team?
Well, how many times he's been a Power Ranger?
Yeah, but that's not what he said.
Different Power
He doesn't say the most times, like we're you know, our teacher is the guy that's been a Power Ranger the most times. He says oldest living one. Did everybody else die?
Makes sense.
I don't think it does make sense. I also don't have any idea what all of these potions are that Mesogog has, but they look great. I guess they have something to do with making monsters. Oh, watch him, watch him. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, he eats bugs.
He eats spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Spring Cap, I can't wait for you to watch more Kamen Rider. I know you did some Gaim. I love what I saw of Gaim. I want to finish it.
And that's why he calls the Rangers insects.
Oh, do you think so? He, like, belittles them because he's like, I'm going to devour you like my... I never thought of that. That's good. Okay, so do you remember Mesogog's master plan?
What?
Do you know what he's trying to do? He's basically Magneto at the end of the first X-Men movie, or the Lizard at the end of Amazing Spider-Man. He wants to turn everyone into dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to take us all back to the age of the dinosaurs, Freddy.
Yeah.
This show loves its ultra-fake CG explosions, and it's wonderful. And do you remember Elsa's secret identity? Do you remember what she does?
No.
She is the principal at the school.
What?
Yes. She's the evil, horrible principal. It's kind of that catharsis that a lot of kid shows like to do. Like, you imagine your principal as being an evil space alien. What if she really was? You know, that kind of thing. It's got kind of an Animorphs vibe in that way. What do you think of Devin and Cassidy? Are they irritating or do you like them?
I like them.
It's hit and miss for me. I like that they have... I mean, really, everybody's allowed to change and grow in this show, which was very unusual. And they mature quite a bit by the end of this. And it's kind of Bulk and Skull encapsulated into a single season. Like, they're not exactly bullies, but Cassidy is, you know, obnoxious to the Rangers at the beginning. We're already to that second season Bulk and Skull place, where they're trying to uncover who the Power Rangers really are.
Yeah.
And I like this guy who's the head of the news station. He's got a New Zealand accent because they're shooting in New Zealand. There's a lot of that, a lot of kind of local, all through the Disney era. I believe, unless that's later and this guy just happens to sound New Zealand, unless he's Australian, but I think he's New Zealand. Now I'm second guessing myself, but I know that happens a lot in a lot of Power Ranger shows where we're casting local talent. Senior Six, is you really a villain for that, Cap? Dinosaurs live longer than humans. Well, if the point is how long you live as opposed to the kind of life that you live, I feel like you're telling us something about yourself, Senior Sticks. I remember Sentai made their own Rita. Yeah, well, that's Bandora. We take her as our villain and rename her Rita. And most of the main villains, Jason and I were just talking about this the other day, most of the main villains in Power Rangers after that are our creation in the first place. A lot of the henchmen are from Sentai.
Cool.
But like Zed is ours, Divatox is ours, Astronema is ours, etc., etc., and Mesogog is ours. But Zeltrax is not. But Elsa is. Well, Zeltrax? No, I'm pretty sure that he's theirs. And there's a couple of other henchmen that look a lot like him. So I don't fully understand why Anton is as extreme about this as he is. You can't even draw for fun, son. You just gotta give it up and no more drawing. I think it makes him, and I don't mean to try to talk about the show on any deeper a level than it makes sense to, but I feel like, this is how worthwhile I think the storytelling really is. Like I can give it this much credit. I do think it makes him more unsympathetic than he's meant to be. He of course has a Jekyll Hyde thing, and there's a very Shakespearean kind of classic mistaken identity thing going on, especially when Trent goes evil. Everybody's trying to figure out who he is, which is standard for Power Rangers. We've got even more of it. I also like, because of his father. So see, Freddy, now he knows that his father is using invisiportals, but he still won't know that he's Mesogog. I Will One says, no, they had a villain named Rita for a Multi-Ranger special. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Pardon me, I didn't know what you were talking about. Clowny Super Bowl. Hi there, that's a name I don't recognize. I grew up on Power Rangers, R.I.P. JDF. Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for popping in. We do get one episode, I thought about showing it tonight, where Tommy has to face off against his former iterations of Rangers. I can't remember if he goes against Turbo Red. I think it's just Green and Red. No, maybe that's in there too. Green, Red, and Zeo. Or, sorry, Green, White, and Zeo. I think it's just those three. But that's really the only Mighty Morphin crossover stuff we get in this show, besides the flashback episode in the, third or fourth. Brendan YouTube. I didn't know... What an apt last name. I didn't know much about Jason before, but it's great to know how much he meant to people. Yes, indeed. It's a big part of a lot of our childhood, certainly. She has a power tool that looks suspiciously like one of the arms of the Megazord, Freddy. So like I said, we've got kind of two Six Ranger-esque costumes in this show, and I think they're both wonderful. It's really neat that ultimately becomes a five-man team, but you've got three original Rangers that have very similar costumes, and then we get to do kind of two loner Rangers that do their own thing.
Did Super Mega Force come before Beast Morphers?
Yes. You had Dino Charge after that, and there was another one too, I think. Or was it just Dino Charge? And I saw some of that and liked it okay. Dino Thunder White is similar to Green Ranger in that it's kind of a menacing sort of look, but it also works really great as just a killer superhero costume once he's a good guy. It's also great, and I mean, I know a lot of Power Ranger shows kind of do the evil Ranger thing, but this one had a long one, and it's neat that they also were able to go after a show that had that aspect to it, since Tommy is, of course, you know, the Green Ranger, starts as evil Green Ranger, and they have obviously, they're able to create, you know, similar arcs for them that also aren't exactly the same. It's nice that it's not a carbon copy thing. He's not working for Mesogog. He's yet a third entity, works for himself. And in some ways it improves on some of that stuff, especially when you compare just this as a saga to the, which is not a fair comparison at all, because, you know, the show was aimed at a slightly older age group, and we'd refined a lot of things in Power Rangers in general by now, but this arc makes sense. I know what's happening. And there's a lot of stuff in Green with Evil that just doesn't. But it's a lot of fun. But I like that we're able to hang on to an evil version of the White Ranger while Trent is a good guy and joins our team. That was a lot of fun. And so Freddy in the board game, when you take the good guy, White Ranger from the show, up against the evil one, it actually makes sense. You know, like when you do Green Ranger versus evil Green Ranger in Heroes of the Grid, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I guess there's one place where that happens.
Wait, Hayden Spring says Cap, I think he needs a set of Zeltrax armor.
Oh god, I'd love it. I'd love that. I have a Lord Zed head now. If I could get a Zeltrax helmet, it would just kill. Of course, I'd love that sword. I'd love the whole getup, but
yeah.
The next thing I really need is for the Lightning Collection to make a Lord Zed staff. And I'm surprised they haven't announced that yet since they did the helmet. And that helmet seems to have sold well. I keep seeing pictures of people all over Facebook that have that. And I love mine. It's one of the coolest things I own now. But, you know, I got the thing that I most wanted. I can't even get it out. Which is the adult-sized Gold Ranger staff. Why can't I get this out? It's stuck. Well, anyway. Yeah, my Gold Ranger staff was all stuck. But anyway, the next thing is the Z staff. Gotta have that. Hopefully that happens at some point. And speaking of Tommy stuff, I have a Saba. I have an adult-sized old Legacy Saba White Ranger sword. Yeah, laser arrows. I love his, but I don't have Dragon Dagger, and I need to get that at some point. Those are pretty expensive now, unfortunately. I love it when American Power Ranger shows will build the characterization of somebody around their power set like this. So he can draw, because the character in the Sentai does that. He draws arrows and shoots them. It's great. I've been recently familiarizing myself with the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wild Force, a show I had never seen before, but I played as him in the board game because I'm trying out some of the new Rangers that just came out in the last wave, or the last couple of waves. And he is a billiards player. He's built around a pool cue. And it's crazy. And I didn't know that existed. So it's like, I have to watch this. And I looked at it, and lo and behold, our Ranger goes to pool halls and plays pool. And he's awesome. It's one of my new favorite Rangers in the game. And I'm gonna try him out some more. Hayden Spring, I want to buy the Draken helmet, but I do want a Draken suit. I love this suit so much. Yeah, I do too. But I'm a bigger fan of Ranger Slayer. And if they put out a Ranger Slayer helmet, I would really want that. Just to have it. Hayden Spring, Dino Thunder White is my favorite suit of the season. Second favorite of all time. Shadow Ranger is probably first. It's in my top 5. I love it. Particularly the red visor. Hey, Freddy, jump in at any time, man. I know I'm doing a lot of talking right now.
White Ranger is my favorite Dino Thunder Ranger.
Just when he's evil, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah. here's my paint jobs for the board game for these. I haven't done the original 3, so I'm not going to show those off right now. But here is Dino Thunder White, and one of these is the evil version, and one of these is the hero version, the Ranger version. I'm not really sure which is which, but they're showing up a little bit blurry right now, but these are my paint jobs. A little bit harder to paint than some other things, I'm not going to lie, because of all the triangles. Hard to stay in the lines with those. So really fun to paint those. And then I'll also show you... Oh, I didn't bring my Zeltrax over. I might grab him at the break, but here is my Dino Thunder Black, if you can see him. These are not showing up great. My apologies. And then my Mesogog, who I took a license with, a liberty with, and I painted him like General Zod from Superman 2. Senior Sticks Dino Thunder White looks like Zebra Man. Yeah, I've never had that thought. That doesn't take anything away from him for me. It's a trap, you guys. Don't do it. Well, it's a trap in that...
Why it looks like Zebra Man.
Yeah, I just read that. It's a trap in that you're not ready to fight him. So they're just fighting in a parking lot out in the middle of everything. Like, the cops aren't showing up.
Yeah. Why are there civilians around?
Yeah. Hayden Spring, that's a terrific point. He says, I like the main 3 because they aren't goody two-shoes. Connor especially is kind of a jerk sometimes, but he's still a hero. Yeah, they're flawed, but not in a horribly, whiny, not endearing sort of way. They're complex for Power Rangers characters, absolutely. They've got, actual, real, honest-to-God strengths and weaknesses in their personalities. They have prevailing interests, but they don't replace character traits. So, like, each of them has that thing that they love, but that's not the only thing you could think to use to describe them, which is the big difference between them and some of the characters going all the way back to Mighty Morphin.
Well, Connor was the only person that was able to attack him at all.
He was just really proactive. Well, and I say that, I guess what I really mean is, there's... When you say goody two-shoes, you're absolutely right. Like, you could say more about Jason than just... And I'm saying outside of comics, like, just going back to Mighty Morphin. You could say more about Jason, I guess, than just he's into martial arts. But it'd be like, he's a good leader... he stands up for himself, that kind of thing, like heroic traits. But what kind of mistakes does he make? He's a human being, and I don't like it when stories fall into the trap of this character is relatable because they do nothing but make mistakes. They're defined only by their flaws. That's as much of a problem as you're only defined by your strengths, of course. This show doesn't have that problem. And Trent is a especially interesting layered character, again, at least for Power Rangers, in that he tries to do the right thing, but he's got this, evil power he can't control. And then after that, he's got split loyalty, where he has a responsibility to his father, but by withholding information that would be damning to him from the Rangers, he is also, betraying them in some way. And it's good drama. It's honest-to-God decent drama in a Power Rangers show. Senior Sticks, Trent's no Tommy. He's more interesting than Tommy, ultimately, but... Again, not real fair to compare them. Yeah, we can take a quick snack break. Okay. And then we'll see if we can get Freddy to talk a little bit more in the next one. Sorry, Freddy, I don't mean to dominate too much, man, but I gotta keep things going.
Okay.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
I hope so. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a break too and grab my Zeltrax to show you guys, if it'll show up on camera. And give us just a couple of minutes, will you? We'll be right back. And if anybody pops in wondering where we are, just let them know that we're taking a quick break. We're going to watch White Thunder Part 2. We'll watch Part 2 and 3 right after we come back, and then we'll bid you guys farewell. Thanks a bunch for being here with us. Hope you're enjoying it, and we'll see you in just a couple of minutes. 2 minutes. All right, folks, welcome back. We're about to watch the last 2 parts of White Thunder, even though the whole thing ends on a depressing cliffhanger. And depressing because Jason David Frank is just going to be written out of the show. And I figured we shouldn't watch more episodes without Jason David Frank, since the show is commemorating his life and his work. Freddy, are you having a good time?
Yeah.
Okay, Freddy has been worried about interrupting me because I talk a lot trying to keep things interesting, and I told him he's got to jump in. We're going to try to interact more with Freddy for the rest of this. Is everybody ready? Freddy?
And sometimes I can't think of things to say.
Sure, yeah. Well, and you're new to this. But, you watched these this afternoon. What is your favorite thing that happens in these 3 episodes? Like, what's your favorite scene? Have we gotten to it yet?
Probably.
Try speaking to the microphone.
Probably, the part where, the, Dragozord first combines with the, Stegozord.
Is that in this, though, or is that not until the 4th part?
I think it's in the 3rd part.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look for it.
Because I think that's the one where he hatches the Dragozord egg.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Make sure you're talking to the microphone, okay? Because then people aren't going to be able to hear you if you don't. Okay, we're going to go ahead. Okay! We're going to get rolling here. Who's your favorite evil ranger in Power Rangers? Like you said, White's your favorite thing in the show. But
I'm thinking.
Is it evil robot Tommy? No? Is it evil Green Ranger?
Ranger Slayer.
Ranger Slayer. Yeah. Well, that's kind of a cheat because it's not in TV shows, but yes, she's way up there for me as well. Although, like design-wise, I mean, Rebel Ranger Slayer is more interesting for the same reason that a lot of the evil Rangers are more interesting when they turn good. I mean, even Astronema is sort of this way.
In the very last episode, she turns into Andros' sister.
Yep.
And in the next, next show, she turns into the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger.
For like 9 or 10 episodes toward the end, I think. Right? Caron? Because she's not there from the beginning.
Probably.
I don't think. Okay, here we go. Everybody ready? Freddy, I'm sorry you've got a shadow on your face with this microphone.
Yeah.
I was trying to fix that before we started, but there was kind of no way to light us and not have that. Okay, here we go with just my current setup. Get to timestamp 0. Get ready to press play when I say now. We're watching part 2. This is episode 12, White Thunder of Power Rangers Dino Thunder. It's on YouTube. Let me know. Well, I was going to say let me know if you need a timestamp. You'll have it right there because we got a timer. Here we go. Everybody, please press play right now.
Rangers roar.
We'll just keep going to favorites. Freddy, what is your favorite Power Rangers theme?
Of the Rise.
What's your favorite intro? Your favorite theme?
Probably Super Mega Force.
Is it all going to be Mega Force? We're just going to keep going back to that?
Oh my gosh, it's just really good.
Is it just because that's the show you've been watching lately?
No, it's just my favorite intro because they try to make Super Mega Force the best thing ever. And it is.
I guess you already really liked that theme or that show and had watched it a lot before because I bought you the discs for that like a year and a half ago.
But I don't need them because we have YouTube.
Yes, but when I bought those, it wasn't on YouTube yet.
Oh.
I like Jason David Frank's Last Time. He's got a lot of energy behind it. He's excited. He's back in Power Rangers, you guys. This is a similar time. I want to go back to 2004, 2005. Yeah, folks, help us engage Freddy. I appreciate it. He is not used to doing these kinds of streams. Look, he's drawing an X on them. He's like Zorro, except it's an X.
I like when he goes, like,
I'm with you, Hayden Spring. I also hate pretty much everything about Megaforce except for the Legacy Morphs in the 2nd season. Sorry, what?
I love the part where, where the White Ranger goes, why am I here? To defeat you. Like, he just does that to annoy them.
He's got a lot of really fun lines.
Yeah.
And I think, I forget his name, I think the guy that plays Trent does a wonderful job in both roles. You know, also doing his kind of Jekyll Hyde thing, like father, like son. We got that whole thing, and it's a sins of the father kind of story because his father is responsible for the gem that is doing this to him. Everybody's against you, Freddy. Everybody hates Megaforce.
Why?
Talking about how it's the worst season in the canon.
It still might be worse.
I don't like Ninja Steel either.
What?
Well, just
Ninja
remember.
Steel is great.
Just remember, Freddy is a kid. These are the shows that were on when he was little, or just before he was born.
Hayden Spring says I'm Scottish.
Yeah, Daniverse, his voice has changed in post, but it sounds cool. He does a good job with it. Okay. Shinkai, thank you for asking Freddy a question. Freddy, what is your favorite Dino Ranger out of suit power?
Out of suit.
Do you know what he means?
Yes, I know all of them. Kira can scream. Ethan is super strong. Connor is super fast. The invisibility power.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Probably going fast. I love going fast.
And it's fun that he's red and he goes fast, like the Flash.
Yeah.
I always thought that Kira's power was a lot like the Canary cry. She's like Black Canary, Freddy.
Uh-huh.
Grim Death Griffin, I like Megaforce and like Jungle Fury the least. Do you mean you like Megaforce? And oh, okay, and you dislike Jungle Fury. I really like what I've seen of that show. And the
I can't
Jungle
handle
Fury
most of this Neo Saban era.
Yes, me neither.
What's
I don't like most of that.
Saban?
Everything that Saban made when they got the license back from Disney. So RPM is Disney's last season, and then they come in with Samurai. I think is their first show, and they do Ninja Steel, and they do Megaforce, and they do. I don't even think I have the order of this right, and they do. Dino Charge and Beast Morphers and Dino Fury.
Oh, thanks, RJ Godzilla.
Don't worry, Freddy. I like Megaforce too. Freddy, are we gonna have to do a mini marathon of Megaforce at some point?
I want to.
Are we gonna do that?
Yes.
You're missing the dinosaur egg part, Freddy.
Oh, I'm talking.
No, I know. You can talk and watch. Or is it hard because you have to turn to the microphone? Here, I can turn the microphone more toward you. See, like that? And then I can just talk at the side of it. My voice carries. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Cool runners.
Hayden says, I won't participate. That's the thing. I think we might finally succeed at getting a show that has 0 views. No, maybe not, because we have people in here that actually like that show. Thomas Lowe, Neo Saban era is too kid-friendly. I don't even know that it's too kid-friendly so much as just, maybe aimed too much at, like, little kids. It's just missing the spark that the Disney era and some other, and some bits of Mighty Morphin had. There's no edge to it. One thing I really appreciated about this show was just bringing back the hard rock vibe, and it dates it a little bit because it's very much, early mid-2000s rock, in the same way that Mighty Morphin had. This kid is weird. This overdub that happens here, which happens in a lot of Power Rangers. I can't believe we were still doing it 10 years after Mighty Morphin started. Oh, so weird. Who is doing that voice? It sounds like a woman. And meet here later. What is that voice? Is that weird? Listen to his voice.
I don't know.
I don't understand your reluctance. It's so weird.
He's Australian.
Probably New Zealand. And the youth of America. Now he sounds like he's trying to do an Irish thing. I don't know what's going on with that guy's voice. The Universe, the New Zealand actors probably didn't help. Yeah, the overdub there is really weird. Why didn't they just use that kid's voice? Why are we still doing that? Well, I mean, I don't know what that sounded like, I guess, but... This is during a period where we're casting based on acting as much or more is based on martial arts prowess, and these guys can all act. I think all three of them are really good and could have gone on to be to do more stuff. The guy who plays Connor, why can't I think of his name right now? I've talked about this before, but he is the grandson of Alfred from 60s Batman, and he goes on to be a pretty big director for New Zealand and makes a movie that is kind of beloved there and wins awards. I still want to see it. I forget what that's called. I'll look that up at some point and watch that, but... I'm busy. Talking about his suit, the White Ranger suit, like I said, it's probably my top 5. I have a Legacy figure of that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I haven't rebought anything Lightning that I already had in Legacy because the scale's about the same and the scopes are about as good, so... One thing I love about the morphs, the Hoth thing is ridiculous. I think there's some other shows that do that too. And then Tommy's too good for it. I meant to mention that earlier. When he morphs, it's Dino Thunder, power up. He either doesn't say anything or he goes, ugh! It's great. Meanwhile, in Castle Grayskull, Alan Napier, there we go. Yeah, James Napier actually has no relation to Alan Napier, says Daniverse. Isn't that crazy? Daniverse, the lead actress, was on Cloak and Dagger. Was she really?
I love
Talking about Kira? Is that right? Sorry, what?
I love muffins.
You love muffins? Muffins are good. I don't know what that has to do with this. And we can talk about muffins if you want to. But we should probably keep it on Power Rangers for the most part. It looks like there's a slit in the side of Mezagog's head. Like, it looks like a USB drive. I don't know what that is. Hayden Spring, lots of Disney actors went on to better things, particularly in RPM. I also wouldn't mind having Mezagog's costume. Why are you bored to the point where now you just want to talk about muffins? Like you can't keep it on Power Rangers anymore?
Well, I like being a weirdo.
Oh yes, the Geno Recombinator. That's what it's called.
Well, I'm a weirdo.
Well, that's true, but let's try to keep it on point a little bit. Trent earlier is wearing a really crazy shirt. There's a bunch of random phrases on it. Look at this anchor monster, Freddy. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah.
See, keep it in all the suit stuff. Quit going to CG. It looks crappy. Thanks for joining us for some fun, silly Power Rangers watching tonight, guys. I really wanted to do something light and fun after what happened with Jason David Frank. This just seems like the best way to celebrate him. In spring, that cast is spectacular, and SPD have the best cast in terms of acting ability. I agree. I would put this up there too. They're all in there. And I think Beast Morphers actually gets close. What is the name of the Red Ranger in that show? I cannot remember his name.
What show?
Beast Morphers.
Oh, yes, Devin.
Devin. I really like that guy. I think he's quite good. I think he was a find. And I like his dad, too. That's a neat father-son relationship in a Power Rangers thing.
Always mad at him until he figures out that he's a Red Ranger.
Oh, he's spoiling stuff for that show. Is he... I can't remember. Is he the mayor? Or...
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's what it is.
That car looks like Mom's Jeep.
That does look like your mom's Jeep. Well, they're busy. They gotta go morph, but they can't do it in front of you. because they got to uphold the 3 rules of being Power Rangers, even though that's never mentioned in these shows. I love the quaintness of the giant CG stuff with our characters. I thought about going ahead and doing the pilot tonight, but Freddy and I talked and we thought it would be fun to do the Evil White Ranger stuff. Oh my god, that looks terrible. Well, one of my favorite things in the pilot, Freddy, is when Tommy kicks a robot dinosaur. Out of morph. He does a jump kick at a robot dinosaur. It's hilarious.
In the pilot of what?
The show.
Oh. What robot dinosaur?
Buzz is him weird and proud. Good job, Freddy. There's a dinosaur that comes out of a museum and chases him in his car. I think it's a Jeep, too. And, like, it runs into an overpass and falls over. And he jumps up and kicks it before that. It's great.
Oh, yes, I remember that part in the pilot where he just tries to run away from the dinosaur.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I have to see him running away for 2 minutes.
This is a big pet peeve of mine with this era, and I think a lot of modern shows do this too. We don't have cockpits and Megazords anymore. I hate it.
Dino Fury does.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. You like that show a lot too, huh?
Yeah.
That is the laziest name for Power Ranger show. I hate it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shows named Dino that start with Dino and a lot of shows that end with Fury.
Well, just one before that, but like you couldn't think of another name. You had to take 2 that already existed in different shows before and sandwich them together. That's obnoxious. And they're getting one more season of that, which is supposed to be, I think, the big send-off for this whole continuity before a reboot. Is sure what it seems like they're doing. And it's going to be called Cosmic Fury. But it's still that show with that cast, just out in space. And it's only 10 episodes. And is supposed to have a big tribute episode that brings back a lot of former Rangers. And Jason David Frank did not shoot for it. There have been conflicting reports. He claimed to retire from Power Rangers, but like that was shot well before he died. But it's so surreal talking about this now. It's still bizarre in my brain that he's gone and I can't get my mind around it. But anyway, there's conflicting reports that Hasbro apparently didn't want him to be the face of Power Rangers anymore because of his tattoos and some of just lifestyle choices and things that they didn't care for. But I don't know if there's any truth to that at all. And I don't want to, pardon me, I don't want to engage too much in speculation, but.
Ziltrax!
Yeah! Fighting in a warehouse.
Yeah!
Classic setting.
And Dino Thunder White, after this battle, is gonna explode the warehouse! With a dinosaur egg! Yeah, love explode.
I guess I meant gossip. I don't want to do too much gossip.
Explode.
Busted Sam, I thought Cosmic Fury was supposed to use the Q Ranger series. That's only 10 episodes.
Energy Orb.
But there's like 12 Rangers in that show. Maybe it does. I don't know what Sentai it's adapting. I just know that it's using our American cast.
Yeah.
And that it's an extension of that show, which is why it's called Cosmic Fury, and it still has the dinosaur head in that logo in the center. And it's the same showrunner and everything. Well, you just had this whole fight memorized?
Yeah. Laser.
So as you can tell, Freddy's big into Power Rangers.
Pew, pew, pew,
not
pew.
just the shows, not just the board game. Freddy also is brilliant at Battle for the Grid.
Yes.
Really knows what he's doing with that game. Has played that a lot, and
I beat Dad a lot.
Yes, I cannot play Freddy at that. And
Yes.
Freddy's unlocked a ton of characters in Legacy Wars, the phone game.
Yeah. I've unlocked my most recent character, Black Dragon.
Oh, cool. I think I had him when I was playing. I can't remember. He's been around for quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. A new character came out. My favorite Ranger, Orion.
Oh, Orion's in that game now. Crazy. And they get really obscure with some stuff in that, too. Freddy, does that game have Zeltrax? It doesn't, does it?
Nah. Wait, let me check.
Well, not right now, but...
Well...
Oh, I forgot to get my Zeltrax figure.
How would you check?
I'll get it in a minute. We can look it up a little bit later.
Okay.
Shiny Cool Ranger, that game is hard. My son beats me. He's talking about Battle for the Grid, I'm sure. Yeah, it's tough. It's very old school Capcom. Grimdeath Griffin, supposedly JDF couldn't get creative freedom with Hasbro. Yeah, one of the things, one of the rumors I heard was that they also didn't like his fan project or movie.
Yeah, cut him.
White Dragon, which they did all the footage for. It's got a new trailer I've not seen yet, but that is still going to come out next year in honor of Jason David Frank. And I don't know if I'll review it. I do plan on watching it. It would just be weird to talk about posthumously if I hate it.
Destroy him.
And I don't like to pull punches with stuff, so maybe I'll watch it, and if I like it, I'll talk about it some, and if I just loathe it, I won't, because I don't think that'll be any fun at all. Again, not about pulling punches. I don't, that particular thing, I don't even think I want to talk about if I don't like it. Hayden Spring, I think that would be a fun writing challenge. Have Cap watch a Sentai that wasn't adapted, then try coming up with a Power Rangers season for it. Oh boy! If anybody cared about hearing me talk about that, or writing, you know, like a pitch or something, I would definitely consider that. That sounds like so much fun.
It's for the 6-bear.
I'm gonna file that away. That sounds like a really fun exercise.
It's nobody knows.
Shinkai, thank you so much for all your participation tonight. I personally like the different dinos combining with the Zord. I don't remember if there were any major Zord changes that came from this. Yeah, I'm not sure. So they're trying to figure out, they're dealing with a bunch of little kid bullies, which is preposterous, and I don't know. This stuff is not funny to me, really. Some of the stuff they do in other episodes is, and I hate food fights with a burning passion. So there you go.
Wait,
I just don't
so
even
you
watch
don't like the Pudgy Pig episode?
No, I don't. DJ and I talked about that a lot when we had to watch it. I hate food fights. At least that didn't last too long, so that's good. But they're trying to figure out who the White Ranger is, or who one of the Rangers is, at least. They'll be going after White Ranger after this in order to get a spot in local news.
Mm-hmm. And the news person said they had 5 days, yes?
Wow, people saying they wouldn't mind a pitch video. Or readaptations of series you don't like Super Mega Force. Yeah, like make that actually a pirate series. That looks really cool. There's a lot of ambitious stuff with that Sentai. Him actually standing on his Zord.
Yes.
Freddy, don't you almost want the Morphers to talk like Saba? Because like they have mouth where they go. Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, I'm asking for the Dino Knight Morpher for Christmas from Dino Fury.
Oh, cool.
And I've always wanted a Morpher of my own.
Besides Dino Fury, what series would you most like a Morpher from?
Besides Dino Fury, you know what I'm gonna say, right?
No, I don't, actually.
Super Mega Force.
Oh, Super Mega Force, okay. I guess so.
Probably
I should have seen that coming. Well, you can play with this one for a while if you want.
Okay.
Guys, give me just a second. I'm going to go see if I can find my Zeltrax. Hey, Freddy, entertain everybody for a minute while I go get my Zeltrax.
Okay. It's Morphin time! White Tiger Zord!
There's comments if you want to answer any comments, Freddy.
Hayden Springs says, I really want an SPD Morpher. My favorite Mighty Morphin Ranger is White Ranger. Actually, I think the morph goes like, it's Morphin time and then it opens, and then it goes White Tiger Sword. I think.
Oh no! Hold on.
Ah!
I'm dropping everything. Hang on, everybody.
I hate muffins that eat goo.
What is it with you and muffins?
I don't
What is
know.
happening right now?
I don't know.
Hey, nobody panic. That crash was just my Gold Ranger staff. RJ Godzilla, I'm so boring. I just want a Morpher from the original Mighty Morphin. No, that's okay. Don't feel bad. That's still my favorite. I like the Zeonizers also, and I almost bought one this last year at a comic shop, Freddy. But I really want the Gold Ranger one if I got one, and that's hard to get, so.
You just have no. Imagine if you morph with no coin. You're like, it's morphin time. White Tigers or.
Yeah, what would happen? I still don't understand in that space episode how Adam was able to morph with a damaged morpher, but whatever. Anyway, here is my... Okay, can we quit that now? Here's my Zeltrax. With lighting here, it's kind of difficult to see my paint job, but he was a lot of fun to paint. And it was just a big deal that he's in the game.
Dang it. My headphones.
And his cards are good. He's fun to fight. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, Freddy, that we can do another Heroes of the Grid stream in the not-too-distant future. I thought about doing that tonight, but we'd already planned on this, so I'm glad we did this. This has been a lot of fun. Is everybody ready to get into the next one? Make sure you're at timestamp 0. Okay, go ahead and give me that. You're driving me nuts with this. We gotta watch this episode, Freddy. You're too distracted now.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hang on to this and stop popping the coin out?
Yep.
Okay, I'll let you hang on to it. Okay. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. The third part and final part of White Thunder, even though the next episode should just be called Part 4. We're going to get right into it. Everybody get ready to press play as soon as I say now. Here we go. Everybody, please press play. Oh, hold on. That last episode was not 24 minutes long. Everybody, please press play right now.
Roar.
Hayden Spring, we never got a Kruger versus Zeltrax sword fight. That's tragic. I agree, especially given that there are not one but two Dino Thunder crossovers in SPD, and given that we do get Mesogog in that show, which is great. It seems kind of unusual to bring back a series villain in a crossover like that. I really like the Dino Thunder stuff that they did in that. And they went ahead a little bit. You see these Rangers graduate high school. Busts him, no playing with your toys to finish your TV. Well, it's not that he can play with it. He's just making a lot of noise. I don't know. I just didn't want to irritate you folks. Kids don't know how to be considerate to the people on the other end when they haven't done a lot of streaming. But I'm probably overly concerned about such things. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just excited about commentary.
Oh, yeah, no, sure. Thanks for doing this with me, man.
I'm mostly excited about our sleepover, though.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we're going to have fun. We can't stay up too late, though.
Yeah.
Hayden Spring, except Tommy isn't there for some reason. Shiny Cool Ranger says Saban was too cheap. Yeah, it was a problem. They're apparently too cheap to let him be in all of his own show here. Unless there's a story there that I don't know. I've still never heard a good explanation, and maybe one of you guys knows, for why Tommy is out of so much of the show, and why they had to contrive it. So they stuck in Morph, which is so goofy, because when you morph, you can take your helmet off. I still don't understand that. And then he just is invisible, which is hilarious, and stuck that way, which is hilarious. Hayden Spring, I'm not doing my homework. It's finals week and I'm watching Power Rangers. Oh man, don't let us mess up your finals. I wish my dad was cool. I mean, I'm in my 20s, but I can so wish. I'm sure your dad's still cool. He doesn't have to watch Power Rangers to be cool. But yeah, that's a thing that I always meant to ask either Jason David Frank or somebody else that worked on the show. And the one time I met him, I just didn't get to talk to him very long. There wasn't time to ask about things like that. And I haven't really talked to anybody else that was in the show. When I went to Morphicon, we talked to a lot of Mighty Morphin alum, and there were actors I really wanted to talk to that we just didn't have time to see because we only went one day. and we were bringing a camera. Jason interviewed a bunch of people, and it was mostly Mighty Morphin people that he went up to. And I know the actor who played Ethan was at that con, but I'm not sure if anybody else from the show was. That was, 6-7 years ago now. So this is some epic stuff here, Freddy.
Yeah, I love the white tiger. I mean, the white Stegosaur. Ah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the White Ranger Zord is also kind of a Dragon Zord, like Tommy's Dragon Zord, of course. There's a lot of interesting parallels that were not probably intended at all from the Sentai side. RJ Godzilla, I'm pretty sure Dino Thunder was Disney's second full Power Rangers series. I believe that is correct. Yep. Right after Ninja Steel, which also crosses with this. And we get mentions of it right away because they say that Connor's brother, I believe, was at the school, because I think that actor shows up in that show. I don't know if I'm right about that. And I don't have actors' names in front of me, and some of these guys I just don't know, but the actress that plays Cassidy, no, not Cassidy, I'm sorry. Is it Cassidy? That was in, maybe I'm right, was in the previous show, and then they liked her so much they brought her back. Shiny Cool Ranger, I think Tommy was supposed to be Dino Thunder White originally. That makes a lot of sense. They probably would have made a big deal. I've never heard that, but that makes sense. I imagine they would have made a big deal out of the dragon thing. But I'm glad they did this instead. Because you would have needed some other fourth person to get in that suit pretty early. And that might have just taken too much screen time away from Tommy, especially if then he had to get written out of the show, but it's still sort of there.
Yeah, they will.
Pros and cons guy, hey, some guys who work at the mall I go to are working on a theatrical Power Rangers movie. The last movie didn't do well. I wonder if this will be better. I had not heard that that was filming at all. That's interesting, if that's true. Where do you live? I'd like to know. Just generally, of course. Hayden Spring, the golden question is Tom Welling too good to be a Power Ranger or not good enough? I would argue that when he got, and I'm not, of course, saying this to be mean at all, when he got Clark Kent in Smallville, I think he was probably on about the level of some of the Rangers in this era, and then I think he surpasses that later on. But I think he was at about a Power Ranger place. But, like, you know, the better seasons during Disney. Maybe not quite up to RPM, but around there. And that's kind of where he was. And he had a lot of on-the-job training. And I like this downtime stuff. It's nice that Tommy says, hey, you guys, this is bleak and difficult, and you don't know how long you've even maybe got to live right now. This guy is so hard to deal with. We can't do anything right now. Just go out and have a good time. And of course, they have a difficult time doing that. But Tommy is a pretty good mentor in this. By the way, the next episode of Superhero Rewind is going to be the Power Rangers 2017 movie. I don't know if I'll be able to get to that next week. I'm going to be taking most of the next couple weeks off for Christmas. So if not, it'll be the first thing I do after the new year. So look forward to that. It'll be interesting to revisit. I talked about that a lot when it opened, of course, which is part of why I've waited a while to get back to it, but it's been almost 5 years now. I guess over 5 years. Hayden Spring, if I could make my own Ranger season, I would cast Rosenbaum as a disgruntled mentor. Maybe he'd morph later. Yeah, I think he'd also be a good big bad. Tim Johnson, Freddy. My favorite Mighty Morphin Power Ranger is also the White Ranger. That was mine growing up, too.
Cool.
Love that outfit.
Yeah. And I love Saba.
Yeah, Saba was cool.
The only talking sword in the history of Power Rangers.
Is that right? Are there no other talking swords?
Probably.
So you can't have a favorite talking sword because there's just the one?
Mm-hmm.
Hayden Spring, I'm on season 7, having a hard time continuing. Are you talking about for Smallville? Because, yeah, it gets rough. RJ Godzilla, Tommy was a really good mentor. I remember being kind of surprised at how good, but in retrospect, I really shouldn't have been. I don't know. He's played up as such a loner initially when he first comes in, and then I guess he becomes as kind of goody two-shoes-esque as the others, but he always played as less of a leader to me in Mighty Morphin than kind of wild card that just runs off on his own, and he's kind of the Michael Jordan of the team, where like it's ostensibly all about teamwork, but at the end of the day, he's gonna get in his Dragon's Order as White Tiger, and he's gonna save the day. That's what's gonna happen, and so I guess he's a little bit more of a team leader by Zeo, but I never really thought of him in the Zordon role, and wouldn't have thought Jason David Frank could play it as well as he does. It's just a really great energy he brings to this. Must have stemmed Sabotage because in the Sentai, he acted as the voice when the Child Ranger was hiding his identity. Yes, I did know about that. And that's why there's hilarious, goofy places where Tommy, of all people, is jumping around like a raging lunatic because it's a little kid being silly and excited in the costume, like and apparently Tommy is doing that. Oh no, this very powerful anchor monster is back, Freddy.
Not that powerful. Busted some Sabotage because in the Sentai...
I just read that.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yes, Lana is awful. Generally speaking. Oh. Hayden Spring, did you hear about the Superman and Lois John? Oh, I thought you meant Superman and that was recast. I was going to lose it. No, I did hear about Jonathan Kent being recast in that. Yeah, that whole situation was very strange. That looked great. Look, the cycles are back, Freddy.
Yep.
We're actually riding motorcycles. I do really like what the cycles look like in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what motorcycles are my favorite, though?
What?
The shark cycles.
Yep.
You remember those?
Yep.
From season 3?
Yep.
Hey, I'm just gonna keep asking you favorite stuff. What is your favorite season of Mighty Morphin?
Probably season 3.
How come? Like Alien Ranger stuff?
Powers.
Or the ninja powers? Or
yes.
Yeah.
The ninja powers. And Master Vile.
Master Vile's great.
Yes.
Yep.
And Zed finds out that that's Rita's father.
That's right. And that whole family has different names. For some reason.
Yeah. I like that he says, also comes as a handy laser. Later, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of great quips and banter in this show. So I love Mesgog, but he's not the creepiest Power Rangers villain. That goes to the guy from SPD. That feels like... I finally watched a little bit of that recently, because I hadn't really seen much of that show. And that guy is creepy. He's like Mesogog on steroids. Here comes Super Dino mode!
And he goes like, whoa, it's like I tapped into a whole new level of power.
So this is the first time he does it, right?
Yes.
And then Tommy's throwaway, it's so goofy, right? Look how they bounce around. It's really silly. But it's not any sillier than the insane power-up mode he has later on, Freddy, where he looks like a giant action figure. You know what I'm talking about? Where he, like, has a jetpack and he hovers off the ground.
I don't know that.
It's amazing. Shiny Cool Ranger.
Like sorry. No free rides.
I like the prequel Power Rangers movie pitch you did with DJ a while back with the Planet of Gold Eras. Yeah, thank you. That was actually 3 years ago, believe it or not. And I pitched that as a fan novel, and I actually wrote half of it. I took some time off and spent a lot of time working on that, and I wrote 50,000 words for that book. And then the comics actually did an origin for Zordon, which was good. For Zordon and Zed, and some of the stuff I was doing is also places they went. And I didn't have the heart to finish it. I just felt redundant at that point. And I still might go back and try. It would be difficult not to be influenced by what they did now. Maybe I shouldn't have read it. Maybe I should have finished first. I don't know. And there's stuff in the lore that they went to that I didn't know about that I kind of wished I had. But I don't want to retroactively go to it now. So I don't know, like the Morphin Masters and all of that. I didn't do any of that in my book.
Yes. I love Morphin Masters. Mesogog.
Yeah, I think it's crazy they use the actor's actual tongue behind that mask. It just looks crazy. Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
I love it when the bad guy... I want to say comes down to Earth. I mean, this one's kind of, I guess, in a different dimension or whatever, but... Or not... No, is it a different dimension? I guess he's just on a... in an island, right? And he's jumping back and forth with his invisible...
Either in the sky or on a volcano.
Hayden Spring Finster's backstory is horrifying. It's great.
My favorite Thunder Zord is probably going to be the Firebird.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we got Zeltrax about to attack somebody that's not Tommy.
Nope, he's not going to.
But that's the same I have to say, discovering the Super Sentai and how dark it can get when you've had 30 years of knowing how Power Rangers works is a bit of a trip. Yeah, it is. It makes you go, oh wow. One of my favorite things is real watered down from the original. Like, Sentai is just what I've seen of it.
It's 903.
Objectively smarter and better than these shows. But somehow it doesn't take away from what I like from this stuff. I still go back to this stuff. I still haven't been able to get super into Sentai. Probably just because I guess you get used to what you know, you get set in your ways. Like, it's not Power Rangers, and I want to do more of it. It's just been hard to prioritize because there's so much of Power Rangers I still haven't sunk my teeth into, and so prioritizing it over the seasons I don't know has been hard, and it's been difficult to make myself really care enough about seasons I didn't watch when they were on and don't have any nostalgia for. But now I'm more interested because of the board game and characters that I'm liking the mechanics of cards of, but don't know anything about. Particularly in the recent Light and Darkness box. There's so much stuff in that I know nothing about. Wild Force, there's a little bit of, there's some Overdrive in there even, and I don't know any of that stuff. So it's hard to get excited about. But on a whim, like I said, I played as Lunar Wolf from Wild Force and was like, this guy's awesome! And so then I got curious, and now I'm looking at them.
This is the courage of a wolf.
Grimdeath Griffin.
Cyclone.
I thought Mesogog had a museum, but instead he has an island fortress. No, Tommy has a museum. Or Tommy at least goes to the museum, and then he has... Wow, that actually looks pretty cool, even though it's not great CG. Underneath it is his command center.
I also, Tim Johnson up there said, I also like Tommy in his Ninja Ranger white outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Video game secrets!
That's your brother. That's Jason.
Dannyverse, not...
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, what are you talking about? The shiny cool ranger, it's Jason.
It is.
I love his channel, but in real life, he's pretty annoying.
Jason, I'm sorry you got left out tonight, man.
Yeah, and
hopefully we can have you on the next one.
For what I said, he's probably gonna say, "What the heck?"
We are almost done here, folks. Where are we at here? Yeah, we've only got 3 minutes left in this episode. What else do you want to talk about with Power Rangers real quick, Freddy?
It's pretty cool, and White Ranger, like Super Dino mode is my favorite Dino Thunder mode that I've seen.
Yeah, you're not bothered by the bouncy spikes, the foam.
Nope. See, I told you.
Just bring back an old joke. Rank your children by fighting ability. Freddy's all the way at the top right now because Freddy takes karate and is a yellow belt.
The highest belt in my family.
Nobody else is taking karate.
Yep. Well, Dad's going to take karate.
I'm talking about it. I really am. Yeah. We got a real life Freddy versus Jason. I have always wanted to do a show on the channel called Freddy vs. Jason. And I always said when you guys got old enough, we'd do it. You are now, and we haven't done it yet. But what do you think, Freddy? Do you want to do, like, I don't know, video game battles? Or we can do a lot of different contests. We can do card games, board games, all kinds of stuff. Freddy vs. Jason.
Actually fighting?
Just because you know you'll win? Okay, so we're about to get to our big cliffhanger that we're going to leave off on tonight. And this is going to be the way that we write Jason David Frank physically out of the show. He'll just do voiceover for quite a while.
Trent is a Trent.
So he's going to find out that this is kind of your typical TV tease. He's going to find out that Trent is the evil White Ranger and then try to tell the Rangers about it, but he's going to get trapped in hard goo, fossil whatever, before he can tell them. Even though he totally could have gotten the words out, he just didn't.
His blah, blah, blah.
Hayden Spring, but what's more important is who's last and is it Cap? No. I think I could beat Jason in a fight.
Yes.
Pros and cons guy, have you heard Jason David Frank, Green White Ranger, made his own movie before he died? Yes, we talked about that earlier. It's called Legend of the White Dragon, and it is going to come out next year. We got a new trailer for that recently. Everything was filmed for it. There's some speculation about that, whether that would come out, but it is coming out. That is a Bat in the Sun project. The White Ranger is... Finish your sentence! He's even still, like, got his arm up like he's talking to Haley. Haley is kind of an alpha. She's one of the better alphas.
Yep.
Hayden Spring Sarah's the strongest, calling it now. Maybe. It's possible.
Woo, 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 woo.
All right, we finished it, folks.
Woo, woo, woo,
that is a weird place to leave off, but again, maybe at some point we'll come back and finish the White Ranger saga. The plot thickens. I love the stuff with Trent and Kira. I love all the, again, loyalty question with Trent and his father and all of that. There's some actual decent drama in this Power Rangers show. And at some point, I might do a series overview on Rewind for this show. I've always wanted to do that. To actually do story analysis for this, because I think I could. I think it's worthy of it, at least for Power Rangers. Freddy, anything else you want to mention about Dino Thunder or Power Rangers before we get going?
No, probably not.
Pros and cons guy, do a Goldar voice. Do you have a Goldar impression?
No.
I haven't tried it in a while. Dan's News does an almost perfect Goldar. It's amazing.
Really?
He did it when he came here a few years ago and stayed with us. He just blew my mind with it. I can try. What do you think? Freddy! I'm not quite in the right spot.
Video game secrets. Tommy added himself to the museum. And up there, he said Freddy.
I don't quite have it.
Up there, Video Game Secrets said, Freddy, you look awesome with a shadow on your face. Thank you, Jason. You
know what he looks like, Jason? He looks like those teaser posters they did for the 2017 movie that you got one done of at Power Morphicon, where it was a lightning bolt, Freddy, from Power Rangers, like across the actors' faces. in like some part of it was in shadow. It was pretty cool looking. Anyway, we're going to get going. Everybody, thanks so very much for hanging out with us, watching a little bit of Power Rangers with us, a little bit of Dino Thunder to celebrate the life and work of Jason David Frank. And I will be back again tomorrow night late. I've got a request for an odd choice. It's Christmas time, and somebody asked Austin and I to do the Christmas special from Garfield, the old classic Garfield Christmas special. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. I haven't watched it again yet, because I'm going to try to do that with my family tomorrow night, and then review it shortly thereafter. Thursday is a new Captain Logan show, and Friday night, Austin and I are finally going to watch, we're going to do a watch party for the second Pirates of the Caribbean film, which I know a lot of folks are excited about. And then after that, I'm going to play it by year, because like I said, I'm going to take most of the next couple weeks for Christmas off, and I may come back Monday or sometime next week and do one more rewind, or I may save it for the new year. It's all going to depend on my schedule with setting up stuff for Christmas, family things, all of that. But anyway, hope you guys had a great time with us. We had a lot of fun. Freddy, thank you so much for doing this, man.
Yep. Grimdeath Griffin said they fossiled Tommy. Also, just so you know, it's fossilized, not just fossil.
You stand corrected. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. I'm going to get going and hang out with Freddy. Freddy, can you say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Later, folks.